Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. This comes in at the same price as last year, so we'll unbox it, talk about what's new, compare it with the Pixel Fold, and then also take a look at what's new in the software. Now this starts at $17.99, goes up to $21.59, and offers 256 up to 1 terabyte of storage. We have new colors this year with gray, blue, phantom black, cream, and icy blue. Now let's go ahead and open this up. This is actually the gray color, so we'll just pull these tabs off here. We also have this case, this slim S Pen case. We'll pull the tabs off here just to open it up. No more plastic. And let's see what we've got. There we are. And on this side of the box, this is where we get our paperwork and everything else. Let's see if there's anything new. I don't think there is, but let's see what we've got either way. So we've got our cable. This is a USB-C to USB-C cable that's included in the box. No charger, of course. We've got a quick start guide and a SIM card ejector tool. So let's pop this out, set it aside. Let's set all of the paperwork aside and take a closer look at the phone. So let's go ahead and remove the phone out of the packaging here. So there's nothing else in here and it's just wrapped in this coating. Let's go ahead and remove this packaging off of it. And there we have the phone. So this actually looks pretty good in gray. Let me go ahead and remove this off as well, and we'll take a look around the phone. Now, as I said, this is the new gray color, and it's a nice matte finish. So no more glossy back, which is really nice. And then if we fold it slightly, you'll see that it's sort of a matte finish along the spine here. Also, I think that looks great. It's just nice and matte everywhere, less of a fingerprint magnet. Now, as far as the overall design, this year it actually folds flat, or flatter than it did before. So you can see that here where it's almost flat. And then on the top of the phone, it looks like we have 3 microphones in our speaker, so very similar to last year. On the side of the phone, the right side, we have our millimeter wave antenna, volume rocker, power sleep wake button that's also a fingerprint reader, and then also our SIM card tray. Let's go ahead and pop the SIM card tray out and see what we've got. We do not have expandable storage, but we should have dual SIM support, at least for an eSIM. So there's our SIM card tray. You can see it there. And it's plastic. It's extremely long this year too for some reason, but it's plastic, fits in place nicely, and also has the same design as last year. Going to the bottom, we have our USB-C port, another microphone, and then a speaker. So this looks pretty good. It's actually a little bit lighter than last year at 8.92 ounces or 253 grams compared to 9.28 ounces of the Z Fold 4. So with the simplification of the spine, they've actually made this a little bit better. We have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor and 12 gigs of RAM. If we go ahead and open it up, we have the same screens on the inside and outside, but we'll talk more about that in a moment as the inside screen is a little nicer. We also have a smaller S Pen. And one thing that was really nice is I was able to get $800 off of this with the trade-in of old Samsung hardware. So an S21, I think an S22, and even an S23 had pretty good trade-in deals. I'll link to those in the description where I actually bought it from. But if you want to check it out, I purchased this myself. It's not a sponsored video or anything, but I'll link those in the description if you want to see if there's any deals. I believe they're giving $50 additional if you buy it through the link as well. Now the cameras are the same this year, but they have a different image signal processor. So they're all the same, so we won't go over all of those, but here's the specs on the side. If you want to take a look at that, let's go ahead and get this set up quickly. So we have for your review. We can agree to all or just pick one. We don't have to do everything. We'll do agree. And then we can set up with another device. So we can bring in an iPhone, iPad, Galaxy, or Android device. We'll set up manually for now, just so we can get to the main screen. Then we'll connect to Wi-Fi. Once we've connected to Wi-Fi, it says preparing for mobile connection. Then we can select our service provider. We'll set this up later since I didn't put a SIM card in it yet. We can copy apps and data. We'll skip that for now. Now it says checking info, so we'll give it a moment. And now it wants us to sign in with Google. I'll skip this for now. Like I said, I'll set this up a little bit later and try it out. Then we can agree to Google services, go to the next screen, and then protect your phone. So I'll actually use a fingerprint reader here. We'll hit continue, next, and then I'll set a PIN. Then we'll set up the fingerprint reader. So we'll just press on the side here and get this set up. It's a nice little animation as I set my thumb down there on the fingerprint reader. Just move it around. It feels pretty accurate or pretty quick. It recognizes my finger quickly, much better than the under the screen fingerprint readers we had in some of the previous devices. There we are. Then we can add another, just go next. So it says getting your phone ready. Now we can sign in with a Samsung account. Again, we'll just skip that for now. I'll do that later. And then we have Samsung services. So we can either leave these all enabled by default and just hit agree or turn them off. Then you can choose your display preference, whether you want light or dark mode. So we'll set it up as dark mode and hit next. And then it tells you again, just like we've had with all the other folds, how to take care of your phone. Actually, maybe I'll go back just so we can see it with less reflection. And it's telling you how to take care of your phone. So again, you have to be careful with this. We'll hit finish. And you could have explored this, but there's the default wallpaper. It looks pretty good. The traditional Samsung sound, and you definitely can see the crease here. Not too big of a deal. It's what you would expect, but that hinge is really nice and flat. It looks great. And as far as the software goes, let's first compare it with the Pixel Fold, just so I can show you the difference in the overall design. So I've actually really grown to like the Pixel Fold. I've actually had a SIM card in it for a little while, and you can see these side by side. We have a definite different layout and different design choice here. So I think both are great. It just depends on which one you prefer. Of course, we've got a different camera layout, and we've got a lot of fingerprints on this stainless steel on the back of the Pixel Fold. And then on the top, just so you can see side by side, much different as far as overall size. As far as thickness is concerned, the Pixel's supposed to be thinner, but we do have that huge camera bump. So they're very, very comparable this way. Also, the Pixel seems to fold flatter than the Z Fold 5. So you can see that here. So we go in a little bit closer, you can see the difference. So there is a little bit of an air gap with the Z Fold 5 compared to the Pixel, but it's not much of a difference. Now, as far as the front displays go, of course, that's a big difference between both of these. Let me go ahead and unlock both. You can see that here. Of course, the inside is laid out differently as well. I think for an outside display, the Pixel Fold is a little bit better here. For an inside display, though, the Z Fold 5 might be a little bit better, depending on its overall aspect ratio. So if we open this up, again, there we go. You can see them side by side. So definitely a little bit of a difference. The creases are very similar. It's a little bit better on the Z Fold 5, though. So definitely more noticeable on both, but on the Z Fold a little more. So if I turn off the screen, you can see all the fingerprints on the Pixel Fold, but that gives you an idea of what they look like. I'd say the Pixel Fold has a little bit blacker display, where the coating on the Z Fold 5 is a little bit different. But overall, both are very, very nice devices. And if you haven't seen the Z Fold in person, but you have seen maybe an S23 Ultra, this gives you an idea of size as well. It's a little bit shorter than an S23 Ultra. I just have a skin on the back. It's a leather skin. It's a little bit narrower, so that gives you an idea. Definitely thinner with the S23 Ultra, though. The outside display of the Z Fold 5 is no different than last year's Z Fold 4, so you have the same narrow display, same brightness, same resolution. However, the inside display is much nicer in that it goes up to 1750 nits of brightness, or 30% brighter than the Z Fold 4. So it's still the same 7.6-inch display. However, it does still use PWM. This actually controls brightness by flashing the screen faster and slower, and can really bother your eyes if you're actually sensitive to that. And this is actually at a pretty low 120 Hertz according to Notebook Check. So this really could bother your eyes looking at it for long periods of time, make you feel nauseous, have eye strain. And if you're affected by this, this is going to be one that affects you quite a lot, based off of its lower speed. So as far as that goes, it may bother you. Otherwise, it looks great. Viewing angles are great, and I have no complaints as far as that goes. Let's take a look at the software version. Pre-installed with One UI version 5.1.1 and the July 1st security patch. So it's pretty up to date. There is a new patch that's out for Pixels for August, so we could see that very soon with the Z Fold 5. And it could show up in the next few days with this device as well. Of course, we do get 4 years of security updates and software updates as well. Now, one of the things that's new is down here on the bottom, we have, when we're multitasking, we have more apps that actually show up. So if we go into here, maybe, you'll see our recent apps are up to 4 now, where before they were only 2. So that's something that's different. If we go into pre-installed apps, you'll see it looks like pretty much anything we've seen before. We have Facebook, we have Microsoft, we of course have Samsung, and Facebook. You can uninstall it if you want to, and everything pretty much looks the same that you would get on any Samsung phone. So all the regular changes and updates. Multitasking has been updated a little bit. So if we go into Chrome, maybe go into Photos here, then go into Notes, we can now drag from one to the other. We also have more control over our different apps. We can move them around, make them windowed or whatever we'd like. But if we open this up, we've got our photo here, and maybe we want to put this in a note. If we press and hold, see if we can drag it. So now I'm dragging it with my left hand. If I go into Notes, then I can drag it into a new note here and allow it, and it just copies and pastes. You just drag it over to your other apps. You can drag between Microsoft Word or anything else that supports what you're moving over, whether it's a link or photo or something else. If we use 2 fingers and then swipe up quickly from the bottom, we go right into multitasking. So there's some really nice refinement here, but nothing they couldn't add to the ZFold 4 as far as that goes. But maybe they just want the smoothness from the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Everything is super fluid, whether you're going into different apps, maybe you're going into Chrome, going home. It's just super smooth everywhere. This is a really nice upgrade as far as the processor goes. Additionally, there's some new updates for the camera as far as the image signal processor, which should help make it look better, especially in low light. So that should be much nicer as far as that goes. And it has the exact same battery life as before, nothing new there, 4,400 milliamp hours. But with the new processor, many have said it has better standby time if you're not using it. It's also IPX8 rated for 30 minutes in 1.5 meters of water. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the case, since there's not anything else new with this. So this is actually something I was able to order with this for free or very minimal cost, as I had that extra $50 or so. Let's see if we can open this up. There we are. And it should have a new S Pen that's a little bit slimmer. So that's what we've got here. Just a bunch of paperwork and telling you how to put it on. And then here's the case itself. It looks very familiar. So we have adhesive strips all over the front of the case, so we can adhere that to the phone. We'll just go ahead and do that. And then it will stick a little bit easier. You can see there's fingerprints all over it though, just from using it in this video. Now the back of the case is a little bit different. It actually has a little instruction here that says slide to pop up S Pen. So we slide it like this, and it pops up the S Pen. It's much thinner than before as well, so much thinner or slimmer, about 40%. Also within the box, you get some pen tips. I thought it wasn't removable before, but they're here included with the little removal tool. So if you need to replace these, if they dull down, you can do that. But we still have this button here as well. So you do have this S Pen, and let's try it out. So we'll place this on the back of the phone like this. Seems to be pretty protective. It doesn't make it too bulky compared to what it was. So you do have protection on the bottom. It leaves the hinge open, of course, and the front, but gives you some lay on the table protection, and then leaves the buttons open on the side. So if we open it up, unlock it, we can use the S Pen now. So we just swipe on the screen, although I am a little concerned of ruining the screen with this plastic pen tip. But you'll see it says you can write here, of course, just like you could use it before, but it's a little bit thinner pen if you want to use that. And you've got all the different things you had before. So if you want to maybe make a note, you could do that. Go into Notes, and then we can, let's see if we can draw next to this. Go into the pen. And latency is pretty good. Let's see how fast it is. It seems pretty good as far as latency goes. And it has that pencil noise as you scrape across the screen, but it feels pretty responsive overall. So that's really nice. It's nice to have that option. And then when you want to maybe move it and put it away when you're not using it, it just goes in like this and clicks into place and doesn't fall out. Let's remove this sticker as well. So it looks pretty good overall. Also, as far as built-in themes and wallpaper, let's take a look, since there should be some new ones. We've got some new ones, folding, basically all the different colors that we have here for featured. So they're all similar with just different colors. So pretty much what you would expect. And then we have some new graphical ones. and looks pretty good overall. Let me know what your favorite wallpaper is in the comments below. So that's everything with the Z Fold 5. Not a whole lot new here, but a nice refinement, especially if you have a Z Fold 3 or older, then it may be worth upgrading, especially with those latest trade-in deals. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And of course, if I can find these wallpapers, I'll link them in the description as I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.